They followed the voice into a depression near the root line. A circle of ground had sunk by nearly 2 feet in the last hour. In the center, a thin crack hissed smoke into the air. Black, oily, sweet. Miles crouched down and held his hand above it. "It's warm. Don't touch it," were said quickly. But it was too late. Miles stood, blinking, then stumbled back. His nose began to bleed. Were stepped forward. "Miles." The geologist looked up and smiled. His eyes were round. The pupils spiraled, like something inside him was rotating slowly. Carla gasped. "Is he?" Miles opened his mouth. Soil fell out, mud and bone chips. He began to whisper, voice garbled and low. "The seal is broken. The seed remembers." The mouth of Morwan yawns. Were stepped back in horror. "Get away from him," Carla screamed. Miles dropped to all fours and began to dig with inhuman speed, like his bones had been reprogrammed. His nails split, fingers bled, but he kept going. The earth hissed, and something below began to answer. Back in the spiral, Camille snapped her head up. The totem pulsed red. Papa Thibodeau turned toward the east. "The third gate is open." Camille clutched Lila against her chest. She had no choice now. She would have to walk the spiral, speak the memory, bind the roots, but first, she had to get them both out alive. Setting, late afternoon, Camille returns to camp to find chaos and a terrible choice. By the time Camille made it back to camp, the trees were screaming, not literally, not with voices, but with the sound of 1,000 branches, snapping in every direction at once. The swamp had shifted again. The sky above was no longer clean blue, but tinged sickly yellow, with bruised purple clouds spiraling outward from the horizon. She carried Lila in her arms. The child was still unconscious but twitching, her fingers curling and uncurling in rhythm with the distant drum beats. Camille pushed through a wall of cattails and stumbled into the clearing. The scene stopped her cold. The tents had been ripped apart. The LiDAR equipment was overturned. Screens shattered. Cords tangled in roots that had burst from the earth like tentacles. A twisted drone lay on its side. Its propellers melted. Plastic warped as if exposed to fire. And Miles, he was digging. Still, his fingernails were shredded, hands torn down to the bone. But he was deeper now, shoulder deep in a trench that hadn't existed hours before. He whispered to himself as he worked, muttering fragments of the same phrase on repeat. "The root remembers. The root remembers. The root." Carla sat huddled by a tree, knees to her chest, face streaked with tears and mud. She stared wide-eyed at the trench, unmoving. Her hair was soaked with swamp water, as if she'd been dragged. Dr. Weir was trying to talk to her, but his voice cracked with fear.